Hey MEP staff, how you doing? This is Juan Cangas here. I'm excited for another opportunity to serve your students this summer. I want to be able to give you a good breakdown of all the summer camps, the registration forms, the deadlines that we have coming up. And so through this video, I'm hoping to be able to cover some of that, okay? So starting out, I have this document right here. It is the deliverables and pricing document. Um, I've broken up the camps. Really, there's going to be three different camps. One of them is going to be in Lincoln. One of them is going to be in Scotts Bluff, and then another one in North Platte. The one North Platte and Scotts Bluff are going to be similar in that they're going to be 2 days, and the curriculum that we do at both camps is going to be identical. The one in Lincoln is going to be longer. It's going to be 4 days. So that one's going to have some different deliverables. So I've broken these deliverable sheets up into two, Lincoln and then Western Nebraska camps. So for the Lincoln camp, the date's going to be July 27th through the 30th. So it's 4 days, one less day than it was last year. We still have around 20 extra available spots. So I know that you're going to be allocated certain spots, but if you have some funding still left over and would like to bring some more students, we definitely have spots for that. And if you want to bring any extra students on your behalf, then it would be $999 per student. The deliverables for this camp is we're going to be staying at the University of Nebraska Lincoln. And then there's going to be multiple exposures. So all these camps, it's basically helping students, gearing them towards trying to figure out how to explore careers and find the career of their path. So we're going to be, they're going to be going through some of their strengths. That we're going to be able to help them figure out how to explore online and in person different career paths. This camp in particular is going to have a ropes course experience. So we're going to get to take the students up on a ropes course for one of the days uh, because we have more days there. And then we'll also have a networking event with professionals that come that day. So that is the camp for at the University of Nebraska Lincoln. The one at Scotts Bluff and in North Platte is going to be a 2 day camp. So it's different, obviously, because we have less days. The one in Scotts Bluff is going to be at Western Nebraska Community College, and it's going to be July 14th through the 15th. Um, the one in North Platte is going to be at Midland or Mid Plains Community College, July 17th through the 18th. And we also have spots available for this camp. Um, and if you want to bring extra students besides the ones you've been allocated, it's going to be $599 per student. Um, Very similar to the Lincoln camp, this camp is going to be focused on helping students navigate their career journey. However, because it's less days, we're not going to be doing the ropes course experience. However, we still will have the workshops, the activities, the fundamental activities that the career camp hosts in Lincoln. Just maybe not as many of the activities or like the experiential activities because of the shortened time frame. So you can kind of read through the deliverables there. Now, moving on from that, you're also going to have access to this expectations and responsibilities. I think it's important that you understand what you should expect from empowering student leaders, and then there'll also be some expectations of the projects that are going to be working with me for the summer camps. So. I won't go through everything because you'll have this document to read through. But some of the most important things that you should expect from me is I'm going to provide to you, and I'll be providing to you now, some flyers and also videos that you can use for promotional purposes to try to get students excited about signing up for these camps. Okay. Um, you should have some links in the email that I've provided that give you access to these flyers. Let me know if those aren't working or something like that. But basically, you'll have a flyer like this. It'll, make sure that you get your correct flyers. So if you're taking students to Lincoln, the flyer will have the link in the University of Nebraska Lincoln logo on there. If you are studying students to Scotts Bluff, they'll have the logo there for, Western Nebraska Community College. Just make sure you're using the correct flyer. It'll have general information about why to come, where the location is, and then most importantly, it's gonna have a video that students can scan. And what will happen is It gives them a video that will show them, what the camp's all about. This one's for Lincoln.
When you ask more students what they want to do with their
And so hopefully it'll help you with that recruitment to let students know. Now, the video for the University of Nebraska Lincoln is going to be the full video for our entire camp. The one for Western Nebraska Community College, and also the one in North Platte. The video is going to be the video from last year, so it's not necessarily the same camp, but you can tell students, hey, here is what the students from last camp did. This camp is going to be something, the content's going to be different, but the approach is going to be pretty similar as far as activities. Students are going to get a chance to build relationships. Students are going to get to, discuss issues in smaller groups, present in front of others. So you can kind of tell them that. I just don't have a video specifically for a 2-day camp um, because I haven't shot one yet. So just want to make sure that that's clear, is that the video for, the Western Nebraska camps is not an actual career camp video, but it's just a video from last year's Foundations to Success camp. So if you have students that came last year to the Foundations of Success camp, they'll probably see themselves there. And you could tell them like this camp will be different as far as content. So they don't have to worry like, oh no, I already went to the camp. It's gonna be the exact same thing. It won't be the exact same thing. It'll be different content that we cover. I hope that's clear. So I'll give you access to these. Now, one of the things is that I've left an area down here where you can add some of your own material on there, right? So sometimes projects would like to, mark up and put their contact information for their point person, so the students can have that. If you don't know how to do that, again, you just go up here to the markup, and then uh, you go up here to the markup, and then you go to this little A part right here. Click on that. It'll give you a text box, and then you can change the color, size, going through here. Da, da, da. Let's make it yellow. And then, you might want to just then put your point person's um, information. So that way, if parents, parents have any questions, they can give you a call, and then you can just print out this flyer right there. All right. So that's an option for you all. Other things you should expect from us is I'm going to create also a template for an informational camp letter that's going to give all the details of the camp. Pretty much any question that the parents will have the answers will be on this informational camp letter. I'll cover that a little bit later because I'll be handing those out um, in May. Once I get all the finalized information from the summer camp, or from the college we'll be attending. Um, what you should know is that, another thing you should expect from us is we're going to do all the facilitation. So we're organizing everything for the camps. We're facilitating all the activities. Your role and your job is to get students recruited and get them, to the location, and then back, and then figuring out a way to get them back home. Everything, arranging everything and facilitating everything during the camp, we will do. Um, there's some more information on there, so hopefully take some time to kind of look through some of our other responsibilities. But here's some other most important ones. We're going to be hosting a virtual parent and student information session. We're actually going to host two per camp. Um, to give parents an opportunity to join us. We did this last year, and we found a huge success in the students that attended the camps. If their parents or in them attended the virtual parent meeting, they were more likely to come to the summer camp, because they felt more comfortable, I'm guessing, and also they got their questions answered. So that will be in the informational camp letter. It'll have the exact, scannable code to be able to get into the Zoom room. For those families that are going to be transporting themselves to camp, some projects will be transporting students, and other projects will decide that they're going to have their parents or their students drive themselves to the camp. Once, I get in contact with the parents and the student, and they're planning to drive to the camp, I'll communicate with them, drop off and pick up locations. So I'll take it from there. Um, So those are my responsibilities and what you should expect from us. And there are some expectations and responsibilities that, in order for this to work out and be a good partnership, I need from you all. One is I need you to each project to designate a point person that's going to be my main point of contact, whether it's the coordinator or one of your staff member. But I need someone to be able to, hey, if I have questions about how things are going with the registration or there's an incomplete form, I just need to be able to have somebody that I can go to and reach out to in your project. So please let me know who that is. But then that way I will also add them to the system we're going to be used to upload the registration forms. Obviously, I'm gonna need your help to be able to recruit students and get all the registration and liability forms filled out and back to me. And then also planning out what's the transportation plan going to be like for each one of your families. Again, I mentioned some programs in the past have decided that they're gonna provide the transportation for their students, and other projects have worked with their families to make sure that they transport their own students. Whatever the case, I just need to be able to know that so that way we can make sure that students are get to the camps as efficiently as possible. Um, the information camp letter. So this is what I was gonna say is I'm gonna be sending out in May, and it'll look something like this. So it's going to be a camp letter, and it'll be a Word document, so you can edit it. You can, you know, reword certain things. I wouldn't take out the main components of like the facts of the camp, um, but it's going to have, the exact date and time the students need to check in, when they need to check out, the exact location. It'll have a transportation plan, so you'll be able to delete whichever one's not applicable to you, and then it'll have a full list of items to bring to the camp. And then it has my information on there with, cell phone and email for parents to reach out. Now, very, very important, this letter is also going to have the Zoom information for the two meetings. One we're going to host in English and one we're going to host in Spanish for parents to be able to attend and ask questions about the camp. These sessions are going to be held around 2.5 weeks before the actual camp to give the students another reminder and families another reminder about the camps. So it's really important that they get these on time, and I'll touch upon when the deadlines are for these. And then lastly, it's going to have some drop off and pick up directions for those parents that uh, are going to be driving their students there. So usually I'll have like a little map of exact space where they need to park and bring their students. And this has been really, really helpful in the past in making sure people don't get as lost. So I will be providing that. Now, here's the deadlines. Very, very important. By April 15th, I need to have final numbers from your projects. So depending on what the state tells you is your allocated amount, I need to know by that 15th whether you're going to be able to fulfill that allocated amount, or if not, what is your number? Because once you give me a guaranteed number from the 15th, it doesn't mean you need to get me all the registration forms yet, all right? That's a later date. But that's the number that I'm going to hold each project to. And so, if there's some projects that can't fulfill their entire allocated numbers, then that's okay because by the 15th, we still give some time to be able to move those spaces around and maybe give other projects an opportunity to bring more students. But I need to know by the 15th what you're committing to bringing your guaranteed minimum number. Now, May 15th, a month later, that's when I'm going to need all the applications and registration forms. They need to be submitted to me. And it's the final day to add any new students to the camps. And then that's also the date that I'm going to be sending out the informational camp letter templates. Um, Now, with those templates, those camp letters, there's two dates that there are deadlines to be able to send these out. Okay. So on by June 9th, the career camp informational letters need to be sent out for the students that are coming to the Scotts Bluff and the North Platte. Because if you could send it by that date, then it gives 2 weeks until our first meetings for parents, right? So if you send it later than that, then parents might not get the letter and then I might not be able to join us for the Zoom meeting. Okay, so everything is kind of arranged within time frames to also remind parents along the way that this camp is coming up, right? It's almost like about a month, in a week, they get the letter about a month before, 2 weeks before we have the call, and then a week before, as I mentioned back down here, if you can get a chance to actually call them, then they're getting reminders, on a consistent basis, and it makes it more likely that they're actually going to attend. So June 9th is that date. Now for the linking camp, since it's later, June 23rd is the deadline to send those letters. And then, 2.5, 2 weeks later, we're gonna have the parent meetings, virtual meetings for each of the designated camps. And then I would highly recommend that you make some calls and make some reminders the week before just to remind everybody pick up time, drop off time, and that they're just ready to rock and roll. So that is the information you're going to get. Very, very important is once you've communicate with me who the point of contact person will be, or who's all going to be working on the recruitment aspect of this. I'm going to send you an email, and the email will look something like this. Now, this email is this email right here is going to take you to a web page that we used last year. It's a software system where you can upload and give me the information for your registered student. Um, and you can go back as many times as you want to update the data, but it's a more organized way versus you just sending me emails and then them getting lost somewhere, right? So once you tell me who the people are that's going to be my point of contact there at your project, I'm going to send them an email. It'll look something like this. It'll say, hey, to complete the project, ESL Summer Camps 2005, we need some information from you. They'll click on this link, and then it'll take them to a website like this. And they can read through this, and it's basically a little how-to on how to go through this input document and give us all the information, right? Also, the all the materials from in this email, all the registration forms, a revisit of this video if you want to send it to someone is going to be right here. So they'll go down here, they'll get started, and then they're gonna put their information, right? So point of contact, what's their name, and then you'll submit for review. Submit for review as far as their work title, where do they work, what project do they work at, the phone number, email, and all this. So they're submitting for review. Now, here's the transportation plan. How are students going to get there? MEP will transport them, or students will be responsible for their own transportation. And then later on, is the guaranteed numbers by April 15th, right? So, let's say first thing is you fill this part out, just your general contact information. Later on, once you're starting to figure out more of the transportation plan, you can come back. This is a link that you could just, save to your bookmark this page, and then that way you can keep on coming back, because then once you have all your registration forms, you'll be able to come here and then upload them right in this space. And then that way I'll be able to see all the registration forms once they get uploaded. This part right here is also, it'll ask you about how many people are coming to each camp. Even if you have nobody, you could just put zero, because that way you can submit something. And then how many people are coming to, the other camps as well. I hope that was informational. I hope it was clear, and if it isn't, please send me an email. I'm more than happy to be a resource here for you. I think last year it was just an amazing experience to take our camp out west and have our first camp out in Scotts Bluff. I love being able to impact the lives of your students, and so I'm hoping that we can work together again this year and make that happen. All right. So thank you all.